I think a lot of
I
people.
mean, I'm gonna give you this. It's a back door, and I got all the pieces. That's all I'm gonna tell you. As Dirk asked Vonnie, "Is it open?" Vonnie told him it's off the hinges.
Wait. Are you?
Is the rap world about to be rocked by the biggest betrayal ever? For years, the whispers have lingered, the rumors swirling around the tragic death of King Von. Now, a chilling new wave of evidence is surfacing, pointing directly at Lil Durk. Could one of the biggest names in Chicago rap have orchestrated a murder? The evidence is explosive, the implications devastating. Get ready, because what you're about to see will change everything you thought you knew about the beef between Lil Durk and King Von. The silence surrounding King Von's death has always felt heavy, suffocating. While officially ruled a retaliatory shooting following a shootout involving several individuals, a persistent undercurrent of suspicion has shadowed the investigation from the very beginning. The official narrative that King Von was caught in the crossfire has always felt incomplete, failing to fully account for the complexities of the situation and the profound animosity between Von and Lil Durk. This animosity, rooted in a long history of escalating tensions and deeply personal grievances, formed the backdrop against which King Von's life was tragically cut short. The initial dispute, a classic tale of rising stars vying for dominance in the fiercely competitive Chicago rap scene, quickly spiraled into something far more volatile. Early disagreements, often masked by veiled disses in lyrics and indirect provocations, steadily intensified, escalating into a full-blown feud. Both artists, young and ambitious, navigated the dangerous terrain of street credibility and territorial control. Each felt the need to assert their position, contributing to the ever-increasing pressure that simmered beneath the surface. The animosity wasn't merely about charting a path to the top. It was entangled with something deeper, something personal. Rumors have consistently circulated regarding alleged disrespect and betrayal, fueling the fire of their bitter rivalry. The lack of clarity surrounding these core incidents has only intensified speculation and conspiracy theories. The absence of a definitive explanation regarding the nature of the alleged disrespect has only deepened the intrigue, providing fertile ground for speculation to take root and flourish. Then came the shooting. King Von's death in Atlanta was initially presented as a consequence of a shootout, a retaliatory act stemming from earlier conflicts. The official explanation pointed to a chain of events, a series of actions and reactions that culminated in the tragic loss of life. However, the ease with which this explanation was accepted, the lack of exhaustive investigation, and the conspicuous silence from key figures left many unconvinced. Something felt off. The rapid closure of the case, the absence of definitive answers, and the lingering questions surrounding the circumstances of the shooting sparked a wave of mistrust and skepticism. Now, new information is emerging, whispering of a deeper, more sinister truth. The recent surge in online chatter, fueled by leaked messages and alleged insider accounts, suggests a potential financial motive behind King Von's death. These claims, circulating on social media and within online forums, paint a picture of a calculated plan, an orchestrated act disguised as a random act of violence. The claims center on the suggestion that Lil Durk, or someone acting on his behalf, paid individuals to carry out the hit. The specific details vary, but the core accusation remains consistent. King Von was targeted, and his death was not accidental. These emerging details are more than just online rumors. They're whispers backed by what's being described.
Is happening. He also unfollowed Lil Durk on Instagram, so read into that as you may. However you want to read into it as you may. Now, being accused of a snitch for most street dudes will be the worst news they will receive.
Described as new proof. While the nature of this proof remains shrouded in secrecy, its mere existence has reignited the debate and intensified the scrutiny surrounding Lil Durk's involvement. The circulation of snippets of alleged communication, the appearance of anonymous accounts sharing what they claim to be insider knowledge, and the increasing volume of dissenting voices questioning the official narrative are all contributing to a growing sense of unease. The accusations, if true, would represent a catastrophic breach of trust within the rap community, a betrayal of the unwritten code of loyalty that governs this world. The potential ramifications would extend far beyond legal consequences, shattering reputations and fundamentally altering the dynamics of the Chicago rap scene. The legal repercussions for Durk, if these claims prove to be more than just speculation, would be profound, potentially leading to criminal charges and a significant disruption to his career. However, it is crucial to acknowledge the inherent complexities of these allegations. The rap world operates within a unique ecosystem, a landscape often characterized by hyperbole, exaggerated claims, and carefully constructed personas. Distinguishing between genuine information and manufactured narratives can be incredibly challenging. The rapid spread of misinformation on social media further complicates matters, making it increasingly difficult to discern truth from falsehood. The blurring of lines between reality and perception within the world of hip-hop makes it extremely difficult to discern genuine information from manufactured narratives. The upcoming days and weeks will be crucial in determining the validity of these claims. The pressure on law enforcement to re-examine the case will undoubtedly intensify. The spotlight on Lil Durk will remain relentless. The potential for a deeper investigation is palpable. The need for transparency and accountability within the rap community is more urgent than ever. The impact of these accusations, regardless of their ultimate validation, will reverberate throughout the industry and beyond. The whispers of financial motives have been further amplified by discussions surrounding a supposed conflict over royalties and creative control. Rumors suggest that King Von was poised to eclipse Lil Durk in popularity and commercial success, creating a competitive pressure that some believe may have played a role in the tragic events. This potential shift in power dynamics allegedly fueled resentment and contributed to the animosity between the two artists. The prospect of losing market share and creative dominance, some suggest, may have driven someone to take drastic measures. The emerging narrative is a stark reminder of the dangers inherent in the pursuit of fame and fortune. The pressures of the music industry, the demands for street credibility, and the constant need to maintain an image of invincibility can often lead individuals down a perilous path. The lack of oversight, the prevalence of violence, and the deep-seated mistrust within the rap world create an environment where tragedy can easily strike. The complexities of the culture, the precariousness of fame, and the inherent risks associated with a life lived on the margins all contribute to the volatile nature of the situation. The challenge now lies in uncovering the truth and holding those responsible accountable. The rap community owes it to King Von and his family to conduct a thorough and impartial investigation. The pursuit of justice demands nothing less. The need to unravel the truth, to expose the perpetrators, and to provide closure for those affected by this tragedy is of paramount importance.
The indictment accuses OTF Vonnie of having access to the OTF credit cards, and he booked the flights for the killers of Quando Rondo's cousin Lil Pop. He booked their flights to California. He booked their hotels. He booked the rental cars they was going to use.
This is an ongoing story. We will continue to monitor the situation and provide updates as they become available. The whispers started subtly, a low hum beneath the surface of the vibrant, often volatile, world of rap. They spoke of rivalries, of simmering tensions, of debts owed and promises broken. They suggested a darker truth lurking behind the flashy displays of wealth and the infectious beats, a truth that culminated in the tragic death of King Von. Now, a new wave of information is surfacing, hinting at a chilling possibility, that his death wasn't a random act of violence, but a calculated execution, allegedly orchestrated by Lil Durk. The implications are staggering, shaking the foundations of the rap community and demanding a ruthless examination of the events leading up to that fateful night in Atlanta. The complex tapestry of relationships within the rap scene is often obscured by public personas and carefully curated narratives. Loyalty and betrayal intertwine, creating a treacherous landscape where trust is a rare and precious commodity. King Von, a rising star with a raw and undeniable talent, found himself navigating this intricate web. His story, rooted in the streets of Chicago, resonated with millions, but it also made him a target. His undeniable success, fueled by authentic storytelling and a commanding presence, seemingly ruffled feathers within a competitive industry. The rumors persist, whispers of a significant financial dispute between Von and Durk, a disagreement so profound it allegedly escalated into something far more sinister. This isn's simply a matter of artistic rivalry. It's about power, influence, and control within a multi-billion-dollar industry. The lack of oversight, the prevalence of violence, and the deep-seated mistrust within the rap world create an environment where tragedy can easily strike. The complexities of the culture, the precariousness of fame, and the inherent risks associated with a life lived on the margins all contribute to the volatile nature of the situation. The narrative that emerges suggests a chilling pattern, a deliberate attempt to silence King Von, to eliminate a competitor, and to consolidate power within the Chicago rap scene. It's a narrative fueled by suspicion, supported by circumstantial evidence, and amplified by the silence that often shrouds these kinds of incidents. The events surrounding the shooting remain shrouded in conflicting accounts and deliberate obfuscation. Official reports paint a picture of a chaotic scene, a shootout between rival groups. However, those close to the situation, those willing to speak off the record, tell a different story. A story implicating higher powers and suggesting a level of planning that defies simple explanations. The details are fragmented, whispered in hushed tones, but they point to a coordinated effort, an execution disguised as a street brawl. Witnesses claim to have seen individuals behaving suspiciously in the area leading up to the shooting, individuals seemingly positioned to facilitate the event. The consistency of these accounts, despite their clandestine nature, lends credence to the theory of a premeditated act. The silence from within the rap community has only deepened the suspicion. While condolences poured in from numerous artists, the lack of genuine investigation, the refusal to publicly condemn the possible motives behind the crime, speaks volumes. There's a code of silence, a reluctance to expose the dark underbelly of the industry, a fear of retribution. This silence, however, only serves to protect the guilty and deny justice to King Von's family and fans.
I saw you's a big ass. Okay, you are straight up. You's a big ass. Listen, a big ass. Let me say this way. Let me say this way. I'm gonna let you talk first.
Need to unravel the truth, to expose the perpetrators, and to provide closure for those affected by this tragedy is of paramount importance. The community owes it to King Von and his family to conduct a thorough and impartial investigation. The pursuit of justice demands nothing less. The implications of these new revelations are far-reaching. If proven true, it would represent a profound betrayal of trust and a devastating blow to the image of the rap community. It would shatter the illusion of camaraderie and expose the ruthless competition that often lies beneath the surface of fame and fortune. The weight of this potential truth rests heavily on the shoulders of those who possess the information but remain unwilling to speak out. The fear is palpable, the consequences potentially dire, but the moral imperative to seek justice overrides any personal risk. The whispers are turning into a roar, fueled by the frustration of a community denied answers, a family robbed of a loved one, and a legacy tarnished by unanswered questions. The challenge now lies in breaking through the wall of silence and demanding accountability. The investigation, or lack thereof, has been heavily criticized. The initial police investigation was cursory at best, failing to explore the potential motives behind the shooting and seemingly unwilling to delve into the complex web of relationships that characterize the Chicago rap scene. The lack of transparency and the apparent reluctance to pursue leads that pointed to foul play have only fueled the speculation and intensified the calls for an independent inquiry. The community deserves to know the truth, regardless of how uncomfortable or damaging it may be. The justice system must hold those responsible accountable, even if it means exposing the dark secrets of the rap industry. The weight of expectation rests on the shoulders of those who can provide the definitive proof. The information is out there, scattered among confidants, witnesses, and those who were privy to the events leading up to the shooting. The challenge is to piece together the fragments, to connect the dots, and to reveal the truth. The consequences of inaction are severe. Allowing this tragedy to remain unresolved not only disrespects the memory of King Von, but also perpetuates a culture of violence and impunity. The responsibility to seek justice falls on everyone: the family, the community, and the authorities. The possibility that Lil Durk was involved is a seismic development. His rising star power, his influence within the Chicago rap scene, and his complex history with King Von all contribute to the gravity of the situation. If his involvement is confirmed, it would represent a catastrophic fall from grace, shattering his image and potentially leading to severe legal consequences. However, the focus should not solely be on Durk. The investigation must extend to all individuals who may have played a role in the tragic events of that night. The truth is rarely straightforward, and the pursuit of justice requires a relentless and impartial examination of all evidence. The pursuit of justice demands nothing less. The community must unite, break the cycle of silence, and demand accountability. The legacy of King Von deserves nothing less. This is an ongoing story. We will continue to monitor the situation and provide updates as they become available. The silence has been deafening. For years, the shadow of unanswered questions has lingered over the tragic death of King Von, a vibrant voice silenced too soon. The official narrative, the accepted truth, has always pointed to a gang-related shootout in Atlanta, a senseless act of violence.
Get off the fact that your son may be a backdoor artist, bruh. But your entire plot spoiled once you started attempting to convince us that Lil Durk was in cahoots with OTF Vonnie and they paid Lil Tim,
claiming the life of a rising star. But what if that narrative is incomplete? What if it's a carefully constructed facade, concealing a darker, more sinister truth? Recent developments, emerging evidence, and a growing chorus of voices are now pointing toward a far more disturbing possibility: that Lil Durk, a longtime rival, orchestrated King Von's murder. The implications are staggering: a potential unraveling of a complex web of loyalty, betrayal, and ruthless ambition. The initial investigation, conducted by Atlanta police, concluded that King Von was caught in the crossfire of a shootout between two rival gangs. While this explanation satisfied many, it never fully resonated with those who knew Von, those who understood the nuances of the Chicago rap scene and the intense, often volatile, relationship between him and Lil Durk. The lack of concrete leads, the inconsistencies in witness testimonies, and the peculiar absence of certain individuals from the investigation fueled speculation and distrust. Now, new proof, whispers turned into accusations, and the possibility of Durk's involvement has moved from the realm of rumor to a disturbing likelihood. The foundation of these accusations lies not in sensationalist claims, but in a pattern of escalating conflict and a demonstrable motive. The history between King Von and Lil Durk is a well-documented saga of rivalry, dating back to their early days in the Chicago rap scene. Public disses, lyrical battles, and physical altercations marked their relationship, a constant simmer of tension that occasionally boiled over. While rivalries are commonplace in the music industry, the intensity and personal nature of the conflict between Von and Durk distinguished it. It wasn't simply about record sales or chart positions. It was a deep-seated animosity, a clash of personalities and aspirations. The stakes were high, and the consequences, it now appears, were far-reaching. The emergence of new information surrounding the events of that night in Atlanta has significantly shifted the focus of the investigation. Witnesses who previously remained silent, fearing retribution, are now coming forward, their accounts painting a disturbing picture of a calculated plan. Details are emerging regarding financial transactions, coded communications, and a network of individuals allegedly connected to Durk who were present in Atlanta around the time of the shooting. While these allegations are currently unverified, the sheer volume and the consistency of certain details are proving difficult to ignore. The focus is now on tracing the flow of money, identifying the individuals involved, and establishing a direct link between Durk and the tragic events. The implications of Durk's involvement are immense, potentially shattering his carefully cultivated image as a rising star in the rap world. He has amassed a considerable following, generating millions of dollars in revenue, and a conviction on charges related to King Von's murder would undoubtedly lead to severe legal consequences and irreparable damage to his reputation. Beyond the legal ramifications, the moral and ethical implications are equally profound. To suggest that a successful artist, a role model for millions of young people, could be implicated in a murder is a devastating accusation, one that demands thorough and impartial investigation. However, It's crucial to emphasize that the pursuit of justice requires a relentless and impartial examination of all evidence, not just a focus on Durk. The tragedy of King Von's death is far more complex than a simple case of one man orchestrating a single act of violence.
See, not even for his son. OTF Vonnie Daddy is snitching and ratting for the love of the game. Voluntarily. He's not under investigation. He's not in trouble. He's not in jail. He's not facing serious.
The investigation must extend to all individuals who may have played a role in the event of that night, whether they acted as direct participants or as accomplices. A comprehensive understanding of the circumstances surrounding Von's death requires a willingness to challenge assumptions, confront uncomfortable truths, and expose any wrongdoing, regardless of who is implicated. The community must unite, break the cycle of silence, and demand accountability. Too often, in the world of rap and hip-hop, violence is tolerated and justice is denied. The legacy of King Von deserves nothing less than a full and honest accounting of the events that led to his untimely death. His fans, his family, and the entire rap community deserve to know the truth, no matter how painful it may be. The weight of unanswered questions has lingered for too long, and it's time to finally bring closure to this tragic chapter. The pursuit of justice isn't merely about holding individuals accountable for their actions. It's about healing wounds, restoring faith, and preventing future tragedies. The silence surrounding King Von's death has been a betrayal of his memory and a disservice to the pursuit of truth. It's time to break that silence, to demand justice, and to ensure that the legacy of King Von is one of remembrance and accountability. The community's collective voice, amplified and united, is the most powerful tool in the pursuit of justice, and it's time to wield it with unwavering resolve. The truth will ultimately prevail, but only if we demand it relentlessly and impartially. The silence surrounding King Von's death has been a betrayal of his memory and a disservice to the pursuit of truth. It's time to break that silence, to demand justice, and to ensure that the legacy of King Von is one of remembrance and accountability. The community's collective voice, amplified and united, is the most powerful tool in the pursuit of justice, and it's time to wield it with unwavering resolve. The truth will ultimately prevail, but only if we demand it relentlessly and impartially. The very foundation of this demand rests on the unsettling possibility that King Von's life was taken not by chance, but by design, orchestrated by someone with a vested interest in silencing his voice and extinguishing his light. For too long, whispers have circulated, rumors have festered, and the official narrative has felt incomplete, insufficient. The idea that a man of such influence, a rising star in the rap world, could be eliminated so abruptly, with so many unanswered questions, has left a deep sense of unease within the community. The prevailing story, a shootout, a misunderstanding, simply doesn't sit right with those who knew him, who understand the complexities of the world he navigated. The details remain fragmented, contradictory, obscured by a veil of secrecy that demands to be lifted. And at the heart of this unease lies a question that has grown louder with each passing year. Could Lil Durk have been involved? The allegations are not mere conjecture. They stem from a web of circumstances, connections, and whispered accounts that, when pieced together, paint a disturbing picture. It's a picture that suggests a deliberate plot, a calculated move to remove a rival, and a concerted effort to bury the truth. The claim that Lil Durk paid to have King Von killed isn't a casual accusation. It's a serious allegation that deserves a thorough and impartial investigation. It demands that we look beyond the surface, that we examine the underlying tensions and rivalries that existed within the Chicago rap scene, and that we challenge the official narrative with unwavering resolve.
And according to some, according to the feds behind the scenes, it was OTF Vonnie who had paid for the shooter's hotel. It was OTF Vonnie who had organized this entire trip to California. And look, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Just finding out the fact that Lil Durk...
anybody else, which is why it's terrifying that he's being accused of snitching. Earlier this week, an OTF associate posted a picture of everybody together before the arrest with a rat emoji over OTF Vonnie's face. And then in the comments, he's still incarcerated, but his location is currently unknown. Then some unorthodox jail messages or text messages began to surface of supposedly OTF Vonnie. His daddy is vouching that these messages is true. Other bloggers are staking their